Welcome to Cyber Espresso Podcast, your quick shot of cybersecurity insights with industry leaders. I welcome today's guest, Sundar Narayanan. Sundar, good afternoon. Welcome to our podcast.
Good afternoon. It's great to be here as part of your podcast.
Perfect. I appreciate it. Sundar, you have been advising companies for many years on developing ethic policies and training people on ethics. Now that AI becomes central to decision making, what specific risks should organizations be most concerned about?
Um, Organizations should be concerned about three or four broader risks that I would say. One is information pollution. Information pollution being they will not be able to differentiate between what is reliable information or non-reliable information, and that's very contextually relevant. This is true for both enterprise and for general public. So that is something that I wanted to highlight. Second is bias, safety, security as one kind of group where it's about discrimination of people, safety of people, and security of people, both for the products and consumers, and also for the general public as a whole who may be using the products as the case may be. Then the third part is more on privacy and identity protection in many ways. Now, privacy is not just limited to privacy of information, including people exploiting people's voices, personalities, identities, all of those gets extended beyond the preliminary realm of privacy. That's going to be a bigger concern that organizations need to take into account. Then the fourth and last part that I would say is about transparency risks, which covers transparency, aspects of explainability, how AI explains itself. Those are primarily the kind of issues that I would say organization need to be more mindful of at this
Yeah.
point in time.
I think they are all equally important, but the transparency is kind of an unknown. I think it's the most challenging piece for many organizations.
It's also true because we we have evolved as Homo sapiens because we outwitted others in some or other format, in some or other fashion, right? Which
Yeah.
and we have evolved as this kind of nation state humans at this point in time, divided as countries, is because we always found a way to secure things for ourselves. Now, that basically means transparency is a relative terminology, relative context, right? I So the point of view when it comes to AI is that at least for the people who are using your products, include them into your transparency circle and enable them to be aware of how the AI functions. First of all, is it a AI? And if it is, how does it function, and what are the nuances that what they need to take into account when they are using it. That's the point of view that's relevant at this
Yeah,
point.
I love your analogy. So, Sundar, you're a fellow or board member for Minute Organization. Can you walk us through its mission and your role there?
So for humanity primarily works on addressing downstream risks of AI system. They do this. This is a nonprofit with members from about 180 countries across. But what is more beautiful is that they focus on how do we create audit criteria for audit of AI systems, and they align that to the regulations, emerging regulations, whether it is GDPR, whether it is EUA Act, whether it is California Consumer Protection Act, as the case may be, and provide it to the governments for them to accept that criteria or otherwise. If the government accepts the criteria, then there is a certification body formed, and organizations are able to get certified on compliance with regard to that regulation with binary criteria. Essentially, it basically means it ends up in yes or no, whether they comply or whether they don't comply. There is no other rating system in that, right? That is the primary thing, and this is aligned to how financial audits evolved over a period with US GAAP and other requirements that have evolved. That's the primary basis. I'm a board member and I'm also a fellow. I contribute to building audit criteria, the whole risk management framework of for humanity, AI risk management framework, which was one of the earliest to come out, and still one of the most wider coverage risk management framework that exists at this point in time. Also was developed, co-developed by me along with Ryan Carrier, who's the founder. They've been working on volunteers, working with volunteers to build uh, a number of criteria that can be implemented at this point in time. Yeah.
Perfect, perfect. I appreciate that. So, Sundar, in one of your slides, I think it was the responsible for AI conference, you wrote it just takes 6 seconds to become an AI expert. I like it. So, where do you see the risk in this rapid rise of self-proclaimed expertise?
So, the reality of the world that we live in is that we're all wanting to project ourselves and our identities for our success, right? And instead of the world is changing from the world that used to be, how do I project my skills, to how do I project myself as having skills. So that nuance basically means that I don't need to have the skills, I just need to project. If I know how to project myself, then the skills may not be as critical. With access to technology, whether it is language models or large pre-trained models, as the case may be, you have a lot of answers that are at your fingertips. The people think that having access to technology itself is a skill, which may not be sustainable, given that the technology is flawed, and if you over rely on the technology due to your cognitive bias, that's going to create more troubles than help your progression in life or career, as the case may be. So, practically, the 6 second rule of becoming an expert is going to be a terrific disaster. That's what I can say.
Yes, I can imagine. So, Sundar, I appreciate your availability and taking your time to be part of our podcast. I look forward to our conversations, our collaboration in other channels.
Wonderful. I think I like this short bites conversation. Look forward to having a conversation with you again soon.
Perfect. Thank you, Sundar. Ciao.